mean, we've been getting lots of interest in our booking. I have a few friends that do Airbnb that we've gotten together for drinks and chatted about how things are going. And they've been doing it for 2 years. I've been doing it for 2 weeks, and they've actually learned some stuff from me. So, I mean, so if that's not a good testimonial, I don't know what is.
Hello, welcome to the VIP Financial Education YouTube channel where we help you go further, faster financially. I'm your host, Michael Matthew. We've got a phenomenal episode here today. We've talked to Michael and Katrina in the past, and we've got one of their best students on here, someone that was willing and able to hop on the channel with us and talk about their experience with that. We've got Adam Perigo. So welcome, Adam.
Hey, Michael, thanks for having me.
Yeah, so guys, this has been a a phenomenal topic that we've talked about over the last handful of months and even years. And we all know that Matthew's doing these short-term rentals. So Michael, Katrina, welcome again. Y'all are lovely faces. We love to have back on the channel. So how are y'all?
Hi, Michael. Well. Yeah, thanks so much for inviting us back on. Really appreciate it. And thanks so much, Adam, as well, for hopping on this. We really do appreciate you taking time out of your day.
Yeah, appreciate the time, guys.
Yeah, so Adam, I've got, we can kind of go ahead and dive in here. So my understanding is that you had some rental properties that you ultimately converted into the short-term deal like this with the Airbnb. So if you don't mind giving a little of your background, that'd be phenomenal.
Sure. So we own a duplex. It's kind of a unique property, and it's a duplex, but it's actually two separate single-family homes on the same lot, which actually helped out a lot for the Airbnb to be able to market them as single-family homes instead of conjoined. But so that was our starting point. We purchased that just right before COVID started, so a little over a year ago. And we used it for a long-term rental for the first year or so that we owned it, and then just recently converted it over and started working with Michael and Katrina, and it's been great so far. So when we bought the property, we kind of thought that eventually we might want to use it for short-term rentals. We're in Rapid City, South Dakota, so we're real close to Mount Rushmore. That's our big attraction here. So definitely a big tourist area, which plays right into this. It's a very hot market for short-term rentals, at least during the summer. So when the opportunity came up to kind of eliminate that learning curve and help us really hit the ground running, we decided to jump on it.
So Adam, when you saw the original video, my understanding is you were doing $2,200 a month on that rental property, correct?
Yep, we were getting $1,350 for our larger unit and $850 for the smaller one. So $2,200 a month is what we were renting for on a long-term basis.
So you found Michael and Katrina, you found their just very specific model, which is amazing. What kind of sparked your interest when you saw that initial video with them?
Well, like I said before, it was something we'd already considered doing when we bought the property. We were kind of looking at possibly doing Airbnb, at least for the summer months. And then the long-term renting wasn't going probably as well as we would like. So it was time to kind of mix things up. We actually, when we got our first long-term rentals, we specifically set up our leases to end in the spring because we wanted to leave ourselves that option to Airbnb this summer. So we kind of had that inkling already. And, I know that I've got some friends that do it and it works well, but I also know that it's a lot more competitive than it used to be. So we were a little bit nervous just to get it going without knowing anything, without having done it before, and entering a very competitive marketplace. And is it going to rent? And just kind of all those fears and anxieties that go with something new. So for us, we were more than happy to sign up for a program to eliminate that learning curve and to answer those questions and ease those fears and that anxiety and really let us just hit the ground running from day one. So.
Yeah. So did you have trepidations? Obviously, there's an upfront cost. Obviously, the channel is getting a discount right now. Did you have trepidations about that upfront cost? Did you think that would ultimately be offsetted very quickly, and kind of share your experience with that?
Like anybody, any big upfront cost is scary. We're very frugal financially, so dropping, large amounts of money it's a little nerve-wracking. And it was the same when we signed up for the VIP coaching. We signed up for that one and it was a little bit nervous, like, is this going to work? Is it going to be worth it? And then that one, God, we saw return on equity 100 times over on what we invested with VIP. So for us, when you guys recommend somebody, that carries a lot of weight because we've worked with you before and it's always been good. So that kind of eased some of those fears, knowing that there was a track record, knowing that Matthew had, vetted them and believed in their program. So So that alleviated some of that. And we've gotten to the point where we're willing to invest in ourselves. We're willing to sign up for programs, to have mentorship, because every time we've done it, it's been one of the best investments we've made. I mean, I've made far better return on investment on the investments with both VIP and BNB Bootcamp than I ever made off of my college degree or any other investment that I made. So
yeah, thank you for sharing. So if you don't mind sharing a little about your background. So obviously you said you're college educated. Did you have real estate experience at all, or were you W-2 prior to this?
I still just work standard W-2 job. Prior to buying this property a little over a year ago, we had no real estate experience. It was always something I was interested in, but never. I was interested in real estate in general, but I didn't want to go be a real estate agent. I don't want to work nights and weekends. So I didn't want to do that thing. I looked at other avenues to get into it, appraisal or home inspection. And that might be something we still look at in the future just because I do like real estate. But so, you know, there was always that itch there, but didn't have any actual experience. So.
Got it. Now, do y'all have plans to scale at this point?
We'd like to. Right now we have our own duplex we're working on. So we got the first unit up and running. We're close to getting the second unit up and running. We're hoping just a week or two away from having that ready to go. Unfortunately, part of the reason we wanted to get away from the long-term rental game is when both of our tenants moved out, they left us with a significant amount of damage. So, you know, that's been the biggest slowdown for us in this whole process, is actually getting the physical property ready and getting that all rehabbed and ready to go. So.
Yeah, so let's kind of dive into that, if you don't mind sharing the kind of the good, the bad, and the ugly. Obviously, there's going to be drawbacks to this scenario. What have they been up to this point?
The drawbacks, our biggest drawbacks, like I said, have been the physical property, just getting it ready to go and getting it fixed up and making it look nice. Other than that, everything's went pretty smooth. Of course, there's always the trepidation. We ran up 10 grand on our credit card buying furnishings and beds and stuff. And, so there's definitely an investment. But the nice thing on that is we've done all of those things using debt weapons that we acquired, from what we learned with VIP. So even though, it's technically debt in our name, so it's nerve-wracking, we've not spent any of our own out-of-pocket money on any of this. It's all been debt weapons. It's all been other people's money. So as long as we, see some return on investment, that'll all pay itself off. So.
Got it. So y'all have been doing this for how long at this point?
We just signed up with Michael and Katrina I think we had our initial call in March, and then we started
April. Yeah.
April. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we started in April. I think we talked in March, and then we waited about a month to actually start because that was the timing of when our properties were going to be vacant. So we started mid-April. Our tenants moved out the end of April, and then we spent all of May getting them fixed up and ready to go. And then we had our first one listed, and we had our first guest stay with us over Memorial Day weekend. So.
Got it. So everyone on this channel is looking for, this kind of income stream, and this is a very intriguing one. Let's talk about some numbers. So sure. From outset to now, where do you stand, if you don't mind sharing?
Sure. Well, June took off really well. We missed the first 2 nights of June right after Memorial Day, but then we booked up almost the rest of the month. Right now we're at 24 nights rented in June. We got 4 days later in this month that aren't booked. And for June, we're currently at just a little bit over 6,300 in bookings. So that's for the month of June. July, we got our July. Let's see here. July, we have 14 days rented and 17 days still left to rent. And those 14 days rented are up at about 4,000 for total bookings for July. And then we've got just one booking for August so far for about $800. But so all told, everything for Memorial Day through our first booking in July, we're at a little bit over 11,500 in total bookings. So off to a fast start. And that's on that's only off of one of our units at our duplex, and it's the smaller one. So as soon as we get the bigger one up and going, we're expecting or hoping to see those July numbers double or triple from where they're at right now, or even more than that, because we're only half booked for July. So there's a good chance we end up at 8 grand on the smaller property for July, and probably more than that for the bigger property. So we're definitely poised to hit it big for the next couple months here. So
just so I'm clear, so you made almost 6 months or about 5.5 months worth of rent from one property that you used to get 2,200 combined from the 2 of them before?
Yep. right away, first month. So it's, like I said, off to a fast start. And we know that we're not going to sustain this through our winter. Summer months here are our peak season. June, July, August is our peak. We'll probably do all right for September and October. And in the winter months, it does drop off significantly, but we're easily going to make enough just in the June, July, August, September portion to, even if we got nothing during the winter, we would still be able to carry those winter months just fine. And we'll get something in the winter. We're not going to be booked every night at the rates we're getting now, but we'll get something. So
Amazing.
That's amazing. We're so proud of you. Those are huge numbers coming in, and that's your smaller unit. I know you had a lot of trepidations getting in on this and, fears, and I hope that quelled your fears really quick about these kind of bookings coming in.
Yeah, well, we got the little unit up and going and started to get a few bookings, and we were, plugging along on the front unit, and, you get bogged down in the details and it gets tough. We're doing a lot of the rehab ourselves. We hired out parts of it, but then once those bookings started coming in, it's like, man, I got to get back over there and get that other house done like now, we don't want to wait anymore. I was over at the other house till almost midnight last night because we want to get every minute we can out of it because even hustling. One extra night. So yeah.
Yeah, you're hustling. We're so proud of you. That's awesome. It just shows like Adam, that as a student, like Adam really, really absorbed everything, but also took the action. That was the biggest thing here. Like he went there, took the actions, and we guided. Of course, you're going to have fears, but the thing is, even with the second unit, he's staying until midnight to get this up and running, right? He's taking the action to get going with it. That's what we're just really proud of. I mean, we could coach till the cows come home, but it's not until someone actually takes action and does it and gets those results. Like just like a fitness coach, like we can't do the push-ups for you, but we'll help you guide until you actually do it and get those results.
Well, and it's like we say to a lot of our students too, the work is definitely front loaded in this business where it takes time, it takes energy, it takes effort to get a unit up and running so you're ready to list it. So like, yeah, exactly what he's saying. I remember, very reminiscent in our very early days in our business. We were, we called it shift 1 and shift 2. So we'd have our day jobs and work till about 5, 6 o'clock. And then, you zip over to a property, work till 10, 11 o'clock at night and get up and go do it all the next day.
Do it all again. But, that weekend or those days that you're getting it set up can pay for you for years. That's the difference.
Got it. So actually, the question would be directed to you, Michael and Katrina. So how has this process been for y'all up to this point? Obviously, you guys started from scratch. What are you guys thinking about this months in? Now you guys have a phenomenal coaching program, which we're going to drop a link below. What are you guys thinking about this? Are you enjoying the coaching? Are you enjoying the business model still? Both of y'all always have smiles on your face. Maybe Michael, not so much, but there it is. So if you guys could just kind of share your experience and then kind of what it was like, with Adam going into this and kind of coaching him through and some of that process.
Yeah. So, I mean, for us specifically, we've been doing short-term rentals, managing our own short-term rentals for over 2.5 years now. We started October 2018. And I mean, we were just like Adam, had no experience in short-term rentals, owned a couple short-term rentals, even though we owned a couple long-term rentals. Sorry. The thing is we didn't even put those 2 short-term rentals right away because we had long-term contracts in there. I know Adam wanted to wait until those contracts ended. We actually had long-term tenant contracts in there. So we built our portfolio with other people's properties and built that up. And we're now currently at 32 units and managing them and expanding to about 40 this year. So the thing is, coaching organically really came organically to us when people like Adam wanted to get into this and just needed help and a formula and a system to really just like, how do you actually grow and scale this, get the systems, get the automations, but also make sure you're setting it up as quick as possibly, but also safely as well, to make sure you're taking in guests and that actually want to stay at your place. Well,
and part of it too is just like, we had to learn all these things the hard way. So to hear Adam's results of literally getting almost 5.5 months worth of rent in about a month is just, it's unbelievable. So, from a coaching perspective and a business perspective, it's, we're more excited about this industry and, helping people than we've ever been, just because of where things are at, not even just with the travel industry, but with the short-term rental industry at large too. Like it's an amazing opportunity to get into.
And we love the flexibility with this too. I mean, I had never even stayed in an Airbnb before we started our Airbnb short-term rental business. Like I hadn't even stayed in one before. And like, you can literally be brand new into this industry and just kill it. Just as we see with Adam with this, you know, just in his first month, getting those kind of bookings, just incredible on the smaller unit as well. Yeah. So, I mean, for us, just on coaching, we're loving it because it's like, I feel like we're proud parents, even though like, it's just really exciting to see, you know, the growth and just honestly, people taking action, like reviewing it and soaking everything in, but it has to come in with the action part. And that's exactly what Adam did. So we're very, very proud.
Now, Michael and Katrina, go ahead and close your ears or cover your ears at this point, because I'm going to ask for the good, the bad, and the ugly on the coaching. Obviously, on this channel, you know, we're only going to be advocates for people that are getting, you know, good coaching, punctual training, punctual coaching, and deliverability. So if you don't mind talking about that, that'd be great.
So far, everything's been great. I mean, all the training is online. So, you know, as far as access goes, it's on demand. You get it whenever you want, which is great for me because I'm a night owl. My productive hours are like 9 p.m. to 2 a.m. So that's when I'm really cranking stuff out, which I don't expect Michael and Katrina to be awake at 2 a.m. answering questions. So it's great to have the online, watch the videos as you want. They've been really responsive on questions. They have several avenues of communication set up, you know, email, Facebook. Voxer's been great. That seems to be the main way we're communicating. We've had a couple Zoom calls. So, you know, a variety of ways to get in touch. They've been right there to answer all our questions. Did have a couple questions, you know, right away on our first booking or two when stuff came in or something I wasn't quite ready for. But they were, you know, Airbnb gives you 24 hours to respond to those inquiries. And Michael and Katrina certainly got back to us well before that 24 hours had expired to be able to give, you know, an answer that I didn't have to figure out on my own. They were there to provide those answers for me. Because, you know, the training being all videos and all on demand, it's good information, it's great information, but it's not going to answer your every question about your specific situation or your specific property. But when we have had those individual questions come up, Michael and Katrina have always been readily available to kind of get us pointed in the right direction on those things. So
fantastic. So overall good experience, I would assume.
Yeah, everything's been great so far. And like I said, we're kind of just at the tip of the iceberg here, but I certainly expect, you know, things to continue as they have been. So it's been great so far.
Fantastic. Well, we love having these testimonials on the channel. You know, we talk about different business models on here, and what's good for some people may not be for others. So in your experience, albeit a short time, who would this not be good for?
You know, and it's going to be the same answer you hear everybody say on all these videos that you do. And it's not good for people that don't put in the work. You know, we've put in a lot of time, not just on the physical property, but I mean, I spent hours and hours poring over the listing and updating pictures and captions and brightness and contrast and just a billion different settings. And I mean, an Airbnb is very in depth on all their listing details and all the different settings you can turn on and off. And that was part of the reason we were a little bit nervous when we started. It's like, I don't know what to pick for any of these settings. I don't know what's good or what's bad. So having somebody there to walk you through those, and not only, you know, their videos don't just tell you pick this, this, and this. They tell you why to pick those things. So it gives you some background on it and some insight. And it also lets you, you know, if necessary, kind of adapt. Once you understand the reason they set it up a certain way, then you can tweak that and say, well, for my market, maybe this is going to work a little bit better. But you know, so there's some adaptability there. But everything's been good and been, like I said, it's just a lot of work to get started. But and you know, Michael mentioned this too. It's the upfront work. It's the getting it going. You know, and we've seen that already. Is we were over there all night and day, every day, getting that first property ready. But then as soon as we got it ready and we listed it, well, God, now we're down to just worrying about the cleaner and answering some messages online. You know, I mean, the workload, it's definitely front loaded, but it decreases drastically once you get the property set up and running. So. And my kids are looking forward to seeing me again. Once we get the second property done, I haven't been home much, but we've been telling them the big payoff is once this is done, then we'll have a lot more time and money to go do stuff as a family and to be able to experience those things that they want to do. So yeah, I would say the biggest thing is you just got to put in the work. You know, if you're looking to just snap a couple photos of your house and click a few buttons on your listing and you're off, you know, that's not going to work. You got to be very in depth. You got to be very thorough on your listing. So it's going to take time, but if you put in the time, you know, I mean, we've been getting lots of interest in our booking. I have a few friends that do Airbnb that we've gotten together for drinks and chatted about how things are going. And they've been doing it for 2 years. I've been doing it for 2 weeks, and they've actually learned some stuff from me. So, I mean, so if that's not a good testimonial, I don't know what is. So
if you had to do it all over again, you would rinse and repeat?
if I had to do it all over again, I would do it a year ago when we originally started our properties up. So that's my biggest regret at this point, is that, you know, you see the results of the first month and it's like, why didn't I do this a year ago? You know, but
it's good that you've experienced both sides of it too, because like now that you've seen what long-term is like and now short-term, you can really leverage that experience as you go out and start approaching other partners, because a lot of what we talk about from a prospecting perspective is just understanding a landlord's pain. And really, landlords tend to care about 3 things. They want pay on time, don't mess up their place, and don't be a pain in the you know what to work with, right? So now that you've seen both sides of it, you're really going to be able to leverage that experience. And
and we're
just super excited.
You're going to tap into that pain, right? I mean, you've been, being a landlord yourself, you're like, it's a pain. Like they damaged your place and you had to do all those renovations. Are you excited now that you never have to do those again, or not for a very long time, till you just upgrade the place, of making sure the place is taken care of? Already you're making that solution as well in your own places. So you can take that service to new landlords as well as you start to grow and expand, which we're really excited about.
Yeah. And for us, that's actually one of the biggest selling points, is the access to the property and it getting professionally cleaned on a routine basis. We can keep an eye on things. I mean, the extra money is nice, but if we even just did slightly better than we did long term, I just so far prefer the model, just because we don't have to worry about damage. We get to, you know, I've been in that property twice this week. I was in it twice in the last year when it was rented long term. So just gives us a much better ability to monitor our assets, keep things picked up under control, because nobody's ever going to care about your property the way you do, and to clean it the way you do, and to take care of it the way you do. So we like the extra access. We like the extra cleaning. We like the extra. And then another big thing that I don't think you guys have, even Michael and Katrina, have talked about, one of the biggest advantages we've noticed so far is the wear and tear is going to be so much less, because we live in a tourist area. Our guests leave at 9 in the morning. They come back at 10 at night most of the time. I mean, so we're not getting people in there all day, every day. You're not getting every door opened 100 times. So I think the maintenance is actually going to be less than it was previous. So all sorts of good selling points. So.
Fantastic. Well, do you have any advice for people that are kind of on the fence right now? Maybe this is a good fit, maybe it's not a good fit. You know, what would you say to folks that are watching this video on our channel right now that maybe have those trepidations?
Well, I would say you just got to find something that's a good fit and dive in. You know, we did a lot of research on a lot of the different things that, you know, VIP recommended. Actually, Michael, I don't know if you remember, I had a call with you about Little Pink Houses 6 months ago or so, or a year ago. So we've kicked the tires on a lot of those. We've kicked the tires on some of the other programs they've recommended. And, you know, we were just waiting to find one that was the best fit for us. I mean, I think all of them are good, depending on who it's for. You know, for us, this one fit perfect because we had our own property. We'd already thought about doing Airbnb. We had a lot of the things in place. Our property was already owned by an LLC. So we had the business entity side of it set up. We had the business bank account set up. So we actually had a lot of the preliminary work done ahead of time, which made it a lot easier for us. So it really just depends on, you know, finding the thing you're interested in and diving in. And one of the big things me and my wife talk about all the time is we kind of tell each other, if you're not at least a little bit terrified, you're probably not doing it right. So if it scares you, just dive in anyway. I mean, I don't know. Sometimes you just got to figure it out as you go. If you wait till you have all the answers, you're never going to do anything. So.
Yeah. And we often talk about that here on the channel. You know, it's that delayed sense that ultimately you will miss the opportunity if you don't take advantage of it.
Yeah, I think very much so. I mean, ultimately what gets us most excited is just hearing about results like from our students like Adam. That's just like, that just lights our day up. And ultimately, you know, now we're getting to the point where we're starting to roll out a different model in how we work with people. So we are launching an elite masterclass. So we have 10 spots available this month. And then once they're full, then, you know, we'll announce when the next class is going to be. But we can't wait to be able to help more people, to really show people the ropes of how this business model works, how you can get it started with, you know, maybe properties you already own, or if you want to start from complete scratch like we did, and can really build this into a sustainable business and a relatively short period of time. We're not get rich quick people by any means. I mean, Adam's testimony is, very clear evidence that's not what we're talking about.
Got to put in the work. And that's a big thing for us. I mean, so with the Elite Masterclass that we're rolling out, it's a 4-month program, just of what Adam went through as well, but it's just a little bit different that we are in a focus group masterclass. And really with that, you're going to have the same access to the online membership. And then really from there, you're just going to get weekly Q&A calls with Michael and myself to make sure you're on schedule, you have the accountability, and that you have that community as well as you're going through this process to start your own short-term rental business.
Yeah, and one of the things I really like, and Matthew likes about your model, is that you guys do have scarcity. Now, it's not necessarily geo-specific, but you are not willing to take on more than 10 new students per month, correct?
Correct.
Yeah, that was a big thing for us, because number one, what's huge for us is results, and also making sure that we have that very focused group, and it's very specific. It's not like there's hundreds and hundreds of people coming into this mastermind, else we can't do those we can't give the access to us that we need. So this is with us, it still has that one-on-one access, and we want to make sure that we have that very focused group, and that you're getting that support and those results and success that you need to make it through the program.
Yeah, and up to this point, you guys are handling these personally, correct?
Correct.
That's
Yeah.
correct.
So it's just a different model.
I mean, there's so many coaching sessions out there. Ultimately, you guys are going to get too big for your britches. I mean, let's be very clear here. You guys have a phenomenal model. You're going to have to hand that off. But up to this point, you guys are handling all of these phone calls personally.
Yeah. And I think that's just, something with us personally, we wanted to be directly involved. That was our whole intention of coming into this, was making sure anyone coming into the program, we have that direct access to them, so we can make sure that we have that influence to show our experience. And I mean, we're still in the day-to-day of this, right? We have 32 properties going up to 40. There's new things that are happening and occurring all the time. And we want to be able to make sure that our students have that access and to know that as well, hot off the press kind of updates and what's happening in our business. And we can, have that access to our students to really make sure they're successful in this.
Yeah, so right now it's going at, it's a 12,000 with a VIP discount down to 8,000. Is that accurate?
For the Elite Masterclass, yes, for the June series, correct.
Okay, and then July, there is going to be scarcity here, folks. So they only do 10 per month. Are you looking at ramping that up as far as number-wise or volume for July?
Yeah, we've already actually seen quite a few people sign up for the June series. So we only have a few spots left for June. So we might have to start a second group for the July series, and then we'll be needing to look at pricing at that point as well. But we're keeping to the 8K right now, and then looking at pricing from there.
Yeah, and my understanding and talking to y'all offline is ultimately you guys are going to have to bring on overhead. I mean, this is a business. You are a two-person show. We've talked about a $15,000 price tag in July. Is that still kind of on track with what you guys are thinking? Right now we're at 8, which is a steal based on the profit margins that, obviously Adam's even talking about here with one property or the duplex. What will that look like? We don't try and scare up scarcity, but it is a real thing. If you could kind of elaborate on that, that'd be phenomenal.
Yeah, I mean, our whole goal is, like I mentioned again, was just to make sure we have that one-on-one access with students, but it is our time, and we're probably the most inefficient business that is just, we're always the two of us, making sure that there's the two of us on the calls and making sure everyone has the most amount of support. So you're right, there is scarcity because we only want to take on that 10 group. So depending on demand, but we really do want to make sure that we're reaching as many people as possible. So we're looking at the July series. We were already almost booked out for June here. So for July, we have to have the discussions of either 16 or 15K for the 4-month program with us. And there's a lot of tact points with us, right? There's the weekly Q&A calls. You have all the resources with us. So there is quite a bit of value in the Elite Mastermind series.
Yep.
Fantastic. So Michael and Katrina, and we're going to go ahead and wrap this here shortly here, folks. Who do you want to work with and who do you not want to work with? Obviously, Adam's a great example of who you do. He's been a sponge. He's taken the training. He's implemented it. Who are you not looking for?
Yeah, so that's a very good question. So, I mean, if we could just have a whole bunch of Adams, that would be amazing because Adam, in a way,
Adam, cover your ears.
yeah, Adam, cover your ears.
Earmuffs.
Earmuffs. But I mean, Adam, the thing with him is like, he's an OBS kind of guy. Like, he's very straight to it. He's like, what's the most tangible information that I can take this and take action on that? And that is definitely like our dream coachee. Like, that's someone that can just take that information, and there's not a lot of fluff in our program. To be completely honest, there's not a lot of, all big information that you have to listen to hours and hours to get to the golden nugget. That's not the point of our coaching. It's very direct, it's very actionable. And Adam is the perfect coachee and student that you can just see. He takes that, implements it, and then sees the results as quick as possible, right? So someone that is willing to take that time, take the action, but also not just absorb it and say, oh, that was a great amount of information, and not do anything with it. Yes, it's great information, but it's not you're not going to see the results unless you action it.
Yeah, I mean, anyone that's looking for like the 30-day miracle, you're not, I mean, although Adam's results came quite quickly, and let's be clear about that, but anyone that's looking for overnight success, there's plenty of opportunities online, opportunities of people saying, oh, all you have to do is work 10 minutes a day and click a few keys on a laptop and you're going to be, an overnight millionaire. It's not reality, right? I mean, it takes work. So
yeah, and I think one of the biggest thing is there's shiny object syndrome. Just staying really focused. If you're ready to really commit yourself to the 4 months and focus on this, that's where you're going to see the biggest results. Shiny object syndrome is a real thing of just getting into different programs and getting distracted. For us, we definitely want you to come in, be ready to hit the ground running, and focus for 4 months with us.
Yeah, and I really appreciate you saying that shiny object syndrome. So we talk about multiple business opportunities here, obviously on the channel, and we don't want someone just redirecting themselves every time. Everything is not going to be a perfect fit for folks. So there's people out here watching the video that are going to be enamored with this, and then maybe wake up 24 hours from now, or hopefully they're not sleeping 24 hours. But they kind of have that change of mindset. So what you guys are is kind of slow and steady wins the race. And we often refer to that as the tortoise versus the hare. Like you said, Michael, a 3 or 4 month mindset in order to start getting profits, correct?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing that we always emphasize with people, it's really about installing the correct habits as you're going through the training. So the person that can actually be a lot more consistent, even if they can only have an hour or two a day, but they don't miss, they do it every single day. Because I think about our own personal experience of what we went through because we used to work full-time jobs. I used to work in finance as a currency trader, worked 60 plus hours a week. My wife, she worked
in economic development, and again, I think that was about 60 to 70 hours a week with a long commute. And we built this up on the side, just as Adam has as well. And that's the thing with this. You got to have a long-term mindset when you're coming into this. Just as, Adam was working till 12 o'clock last night to get his new place up and running. You got to hustle, and that's what it's going to take, but it's going to pay off in the long term because it's going to keep generating those incomes once it's set up. So having a long-term mindset is really crucial for this as well.
Yeah, that consistency, showing up every day, putting the work in, doing the best you can, learning what you can, asking for help and support when you need it, not suffering in silence, because, we've seen examples of that, but, we can't solve a problem we don't know exists, right?
So that's a big thing.
Yeah.
So guys, if you're interested, take a look at BNB, that's B, N as in Nancy, B Bootcamp at VIPfinancialeducation.com. That's going to link you right to Michael and Katrina. Again, guys, there is scarcity here. So this is not, kind of salesman 101. They have limited spots. Michael and Katrina, you have 4 spots left for the June Masters, correct?
Correct, for June. And then once that's capped off, like I said, we just want to do the 10 only for the focus group of the June series, and then July will open up so we can get everyone in the July series, and whoever is the right fit. 100%, Adam, as you're saying, if you think it's a right fit for us, and alignment is huge, because we spend a lot of time over 4 months, so we want to make sure this is a good fit for you.
Yeah, and you guys are having that consultation call. So I would assume, are eliminating people that would not be a good fit. So just because you're contacting y'all does not necessarily mean they're coming on board. So you guys have a vetting process, I would assume. What does that kind of look like?
Yeah, so I mean, it consists of a few things. So before we hop on a call, we will have an intake form for the prospective client to fill out, just so we can get an overall understanding of what's their background, what's their situation, what's their goals, what's their expectations. And then, you know, if that doesn't pass, you know, the sniff test, we ain't going to a call. But if we do go to a call, we look for various things in terms of fit from a personality perspective, from an overall goal perspective of if we can actually help the person achieve what they want to achieve.
And also coachability perspective.
Yeah.
Like we just want to make sure, because you could have all the right things, you know, in place, but if you're not coachable, it's going to be really tough to work in this program, to take, you know, guidance and like politely worded criticisms, like, right. Like that's our whole goal as coaches, to make sure that you're heading in the right direction. And then if you're veering off course, we need to be able to be flexible and tangible on there and just be able to correct you. So as long as you're coachable as well and willing to take action, and then we'll be good to go. If you don't meet those, then we're not going to be a good fit. So we definitely do take time with anyone coming on board.
Yeah, and that's what we love about the channel, is talking to people and kind of putting them through that vetting process. You guys are not a cash grab, and I love that about your business model. So you are looking for like-minded people that are coachable, trainable, can follow a very specific blueprint to success. If you're reading those tea leaves up front and they don't kind of meet that, like you said, Michael, that kind of smell test, if you will, they're disqualified, correct?
That's correct.
I love that, guys. Okay, we'll go ahead and wrap here. If you are interested in getting more information from Michael and Katrina, go ahead and go to BNB Bootcamp at VIPfinancialeducation.com. Put your name, obviously, and phone number, best contact phone number. Put VIP Financial Education in the subject line. If y'all like this type of information, go ahead and drop a like below, guys. That really helps our algorithms out. We're really trying to build the channel here. If you're not a subscriber, we certainly would hope and recommend you to subscribe and hit that bell notification below. Adam, you've been an absolute gentleman. We appreciate you taking the time today. It's been a pleasure. Michael and Katrina, y'all are princes and princesses of human beings. So always appreciate y'all's time, and look forward to getting you guys back on the channel here soon.
All right. Thank you so much.
Awesome.
Have a good day, guys.
Thanks so
Have
much.
a good one.
Thank you. See ya.
Yes.